Qualitypath. Now I'm going to talk to you about all this equipment, how it's important for the quality of your sound. First we have the musician who plays the instrument. I'm not talking about wrong notes or if the timing is wrong, I'm just talking about if it sounds good in your recording. The player of a drum kit is very important because if he hits the drum harder or less loud, it will sound different. So it's very important that he plays constant. Guitar players need to play very clean because you can't clean this up in the mix and you hear a lot of notes that are not supposed to be there. The instrument is the most important part of your quality path. This is the main sound. If this instrument sounds bad, you can't get it make sound good in the mix. This is the king of all sounds. The microphone is important too. Every microphone has a character of its own, so it's specialized for a special instrument. You have microphones for drums, microphones for guitar amps and for vocals. The preamp adds very low character to your sound, but it's very important for your sound, because when you have to gain up a low level microphone, it needs to be very good quality. Some cheap preamps will hiss, will noise, will sound, will fuzz, some things you don't want to record. The preamp is after the instrument the most important part of your recording. If you use a digital converter, this of course is very important too, because this is the last part in your chain before the recording device. So if the converter converts the signal in a wrong way, it will sound bad. The speakers in your control room have nothing to do with your recording quality. This is just for you and this is just for the mix. For the mix it's very important that this sound good, but we'll come to that in a later video. This applies to plugins or outboard effects that you use for the mix. Recording rules. There are some recording rules. The first one is never record something that you think it sounds bad, but you will get that in a mix. Never, never, never. Just adjust the microphone or use another microphone or use another instrument until it sounds good. Only then you can record this. The second rule is flexibility. Always record more than you need, just to be sure that you are as flexible as possible in the mix. This means we are using more microphones on important parts. That's why we even use tracks in a recording. Here we are in Cubase 4. Tracks are parts of a recording that can be adjusted separately. This means that if we have a track here, I can put an EQ on it, I can put a compressor on it, I can send it in a reverb, and this had nothing to do with the other tracks. I can adjust every sound of every track. The next rule is the cleanness of a track. You want to keep the tracks as clean as possible. This means only the instrument that is supposed to be on that track is on that track. So if you're recording many instruments at once, you put them in different rooms, or you play one after another. You record the drums, you record the bass, the guitars, or any other order. Only on the drums we need an effect to get the cleanness of the track, because if you have a drum kit and you have 12 microphones or even more on this drum kit, if you hit the tom, you sure get the sound of the tom on the microphone on the snare as well. So we use a noise gate to cut this up. How a noise gate works, I will explain in the mixing video. If you record every instrument after another, you need a click track to keep the timing and to get all instruments in sync. Now I'm gonna show you how to sound check every recording. This is always the same. You place your microphone in front of the instrument, you connect it to the mixer. On the mixer you listen to it alone, so you press solo. You can hear I have connected a little drum computer. Now you gain it with your microphone preamp to 0 dB. On this Mackie D8B it works a little different. Next, you route your microphone to your recording device. I'm gonna route this on track 24. You pull up your fader, and now we'll listen back from Cubase. You listen to this. If it sounds good, it's alright, you begin recording. If not, you replace your microphone, you use another microphone, you even use another instrument until it sounds good. I would suggest that you use headphones for this, because you want to hear every detail of the sound. Pre-production is the process before the recording, where you plan all the recording of each song, so you don't get surprised in the studio when you begin recording, because time in the studio costs a lot of money. The engineer listens to the band play the songs they want to record. He listens to the instruments and tell the band if they need other instruments, other drum parts to get the sound for their recording. He plans the recording with the band, means how many guitars on what part, if it's on the right, if it's on the left, all the whole thing. He makes the plan of all the equipment he wants to use in the studio for that recording. He does this with a track sheet. This is a track sheet. You can see all the tracks that are used for the recording, what microphones are used, what preamps, and where in this song the instrument is playing. The last thing is that the engineer sets up his system for that recording. If you're using a DAW, you set up your Cubase or Pro Tools, whatever, you set all your tracks up you need for that recording, set the input right, so when the band comes in you can record immediately. That's it for today. It was a lot of theory. I hope I didn't bore you. The next video will be in the studio recording drums. Thanks for watching. See ya!